My name is Mark Nash, and I'm running for Hillsborough County Commission, the District 4 seat, which represents a large majority of the eastern and southern part of Hillsborough County. It's a single-member district seat. I grew up in eastern Hillsborough County. My family settled in Hillsborough County a century and a half ago, settling in the western part of then Hillsborough County and settling in parts of St. Petersburg and Clearwater. For those who don't know, Pinellas County wasn't born until 1911. My great-great-grandfather on the Drew side of the family was the third mayor of Clearwater, is the reason that Drew Street is named in the city of Clearwater. But it was his son that left his mark, if you will, on what is currently modern-day Hillsborough County, as he moved further east from the Clearwater area in the early part of the 1880s, and was one of the gentlemen that built West Tampa. West Tampa was built by my great-uncle, John Wesley Drew and Hugh McFarland. For those familiar with West Tampa, it was a separate city from 1895 until 1925, when it was annexed by the city of Tampa. But the 4 streets north of Columbus are named Kathleen, Eileen, Cordelia, and Ivy, and those are my 4 great aunts. So, but John Drew also went on to also own the land where our airport currently sits. It was called Drew Field until the 1940s. Of course, Drew Park is next to the airport. So my family has some deep, deep roots in Hillsborough County. My family settled in Brandon, and I grew up in Brandon, attending local schools and graduating from Brandon High School in 1979. So I spent most of my professional life in the consumer products packaged goods industry. I returned to Hillsborough County in 1997 as my career with the Gillette company brought me here, and I managed the Publix business for Gillette corporately for a number of years. But I got involved in the community, volunteering in various causes. I'm the current president of the Tampa Hillsborough County Human Rights Council. It was a real treat for my family to come into Ybor City from Brandon when I was a kid, and we would go eat at a restaurant called Alvarez, which I've been told sits on let's see, it's 8th and 15th in Ybor. It's where a current restaurant called the Laughing Cat is. So we had a chance to experience the diversity of this community. I'm very much involved in that diversity today. I've helped advocate for smart people, getting them elected to public office over the last 6-7 years. And that learning experience, along with my professional background and my unique connections to Hillsborough County, has brought me to being a candidate for public office. Well, again, I think my family background, my unique connections, my mother was a school teacher in Brandon. My father was very much involved in the agricultural industry, which is a huge economic driver in Hillsborough County. Nearly $850 million of economic impact on an annual basis. I grew up in the eastern part of the county, which, you know, in the 60s and 70s was very rural. We had probably more cows and orange trees than we did people. I moved away after I graduated from high school, and I moved back 18 years later, as I mentioned, with my Gillette career. I was really concerned, that's one word, disturbed might be another word, to see how the eastern part of the county has evolved over the years, and how poor decision-making regarding development decisions, transportation decisions. You know, there's absolutely horrific traffic that exists in East County. But I think more than anything else, we've elected people who have been using gimmicks to grow jobs in this community. And you know, chances are, if you have a job, you need 2 or 3 or 4 jobs to put a roof over your head, to put food on a family table, to put clothes on the backs of your children, to have a slight chance to save some money for a rainy day. And that's unfortunate. And Florida, the history of Florida, has been a cycle of booms and busts involving the real estate industry. And we're all suffering greatly today because of probably the worst bust in the history of this state, and we're still suffering. And Hillsborough County is nearly the epicenter of that pain and suffering, and eastern Hillsborough County residents are the poster children for that bad decision making. So we need to attract industry and corporate opportunities where people can start somewhere within a corporate structure and work their way up. Because working at a fast food restaurant or some minimum wage paying job is not cutting it anymore. And we need to make sure that we provide those job opportunities so that adults and young adults have the opportunity to actually spend time with their family, increase and improve their quality of life, and make Hillsborough County a better place to attract people to move here, smart people to move here. We've lost a lot of our young people after they graduate from our great public education facilities here, USF, the University of Tampa, HCC, Stetson. They graduate and then they move back to the large urban centers of our country, Atlanta, New York City, Philadelphia, Chicago, and we lose that skill and talent that we develop here at home. I think we're making some progress in that our urban core is starting to become more of a community. We have more people living in downtown Tampa, but the external parts of the county, and specifically the district that I hope to represent, has been the victim of some serious bad decision making. And if you drive in Brandon, if you have family that lives in Brandon, you know that you time your trips to Brandon when you know that traffic is not going to be its absolute worst, because it's usually challenging, but people definitely try to stay away from that part of the county during certain times of the day. And the people who have lived in Brandon for a long time have continued to suffer now from the bad decisions that have been made over a period of time, and their quality of life has been affected by that. So we're at a bit of a tipping point, I think. Folks are attracted to Hillsborough County because they like this urban, suburban, and rural balance that we have here. And I also tell people that Hillsborough County is the center of the region that we call West Central Florida. We are the geographic center. We're the transportation center. I-4 and I-75 crisscross right here in Hillsborough County. We're certainly the economic center because the city of Tampa is the largest city in the area. And we're the education center. But our local leaders have not led on the issues that can create the best community that we can become. So we need to start making those decisions now. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty fearless, and I have courageous might also be another word. You know, in my business career, I did not achieve at the great levels because I was timid and shy, and I did not want to get into problem solving. We have a great many problems that need solutions, and we can't keep pushing the problems down the road for somebody else to fix. In Hillsborough County, we have 3 municipalities, 3 cities, but the majority of the land in the county is the unincorporated county, which is what Hillsborough County government is in charge of. So we need better leadership at the Hillsborough County level so that we can all evolve, both the municipalities and the unincorporated Hillsborough, to reach our best potential, and that's not happening yet. We don't have a plan for success, and when I get into office, I know how to get things done. I've helped get local people elected to office currently, and I'm going to be in the district. They're going to know who their commissioner is, and they're going to know who they can talk to.